speak more about the how. How can we enable nature's rights? So firstly is to really think about, how do we engage complex systems? So to be effective in our efforts for change, we need to work within the context of reality. And the context of reality is that we all are part of a living system. So I believe the more that we can see our economic, our political, and our social systems as living systems, the more effective we will be in our strategies for change. First, it's about seeing the whole and the interconnection of its parts. So for me, a big question is, how do we understand our social, economic, and political systems as the whole, but also the interrelationship of their parts? Another thing about seeing the world through the lens of a complex system is about embracing emergence and unpredictability. So for example, a small intervention, like a match, can burn down a forest fire in hours. So what are the small interventions that we can make that are going to create a really big impact? So with the Finance Innovation Lab, we really looked at the whole system, we studied interrelationships in the parts, and we worked at what Donella Meadows calls the highest order leverage points. That's to tackle root issues by really shifting the mindsets and the values underpin the system, the actual changing the purpose of the system itself, and changing the rules and regulations that hold that system in place. The second approach that I feel is important, really, enabling nature's rights, is about deepening connection. So another principle of a complex living system is that everything is based on relationships. No one thing lives in isolation. We live in relationship to each other. That means that our work as leaders of change is relational. For me, as a leader of change, I'm constantly asking, what is my purpose? How can I improve my relationship with other people? And what is my relationship to nature and the wider system that I'm part of? The complexity of our challenges is so great. Our systems are so stuck that we cannot do this in isolation. We need to find new ways to work together. It's very much about convening an ecosystem that brings people together in collaborations who normally wouldn't meet.